All right, we're going. All right, welcome. Everybody here tonight, Hosha'ana Raba, holy night of the Jewish calendar, the night of David HaMelech Ushpizin. Glad to have you guys here. So I saw an amazing piece that I want to share with you on this week's Parashat Bereshit, the opening Parashat Bereshit this coming Shabbat, by the sefer Bat Ayin. He goes on to talk about a very complex Rashi in the parasha, that one of the first Rashis in the parasha says Bereshit bara Elokim et hashamayim v'et haaretz. In the beginning, when Hashem created Elokim, the name of Elokim, of course, is representative of the din, of the judgment, the name of God that represents judgment. So Rashi says, Perish Rashi, shebatechila ala b'machshava livroto b'midat hadin. Originally, God wanted to create the world with judgment. This is what his plans were. However, he saw she'ena olam mitkayem. The world cannot exist. If the world was running through strict judgment, there'd be crazy punishment, natural disasters, people dying left and right, all the craziest tragedies. So God says, "No, it can't work." So he brought the midah of mercy and joined with midat hadin, and now the world runs with both of them. And he proves it from in Perik Bet of Parashat Bereshit. It says Beyom Asot Hashem Elokim. There you see the name of Yud Kei Vav Kei, which is representative of the name of mercy, with the name of Elokim, and both of those names is how the world is run right now. So this Rashi is very, very problematic. A lot of people have big questions, and what does it mean? Hashem had in his mind to create it one way, and then he saw it wasn't going to work, and then he switched it. There's many answers to this. It's a very, very big question. The Bat Ayin he gives a very, very novel approach to this whole idea. Beautiful things he wants to say. He says, Perush al derech hamusar. Hine yadua. It is known she'akadosh baruch hu tzimtzem oro yitbarach ubara ha'olamot. How did God create the world? God is this infinite light. This very, very, just imagine this very, very extreme bright light. No person or being or anything can handle it. It's an extreme level of Kedusha. So it's called, in the world of Kabbalah, it's called Tzimtzum. When he created the world, he channeled that light. He narrowed it. The Tzamtzem is to narrow, to make it small, to allow this world to be created. So there is part of God's light in this world and all the creations. But in order to create the world, this infinite light was narrowed down here as he created the world. So what did he do? Batechila tzimtzem oro yitbarach ubara olam ha'elyon be'ot yud. The first thing he did was that he created the upper world. Some say it's Olam Haba, the world of the angels, the world of the Malachim, the Kedoshim. This was the upper world that was created with the letter Yud. The Gemara talks about this, that the Olam Elyon was created with the letter Yud. Ve'achar kach, and then after he created Olam Elyon, the upper world, Tzimtzem od yoter, he narrowed further, ad shebara Olam hazeh gashmi, till he created this world, earth, be'ot hey, with the letter hey. So the upper world was ot yud, the letter yud, and this world was ot hey. Ve'ramaz bazeh shebara olam hazeh be'ot hey, and it's known that this world is created with the letter hey. Why? Sheyesh bo petach latzet, because we have free will. The hey has an opening at the bottom. So if we want to, God forbid, sin, okay, and do something against God's will, we have the ability. It's free will. We can do whatever we want. Lirmoz also we have a choice. You want to go out, you want to do whatever you want, go and do it. But if a person wants to repent and go back into the realm of holiness, and you have the upper opening of the hay, where you can come back and inside the realm of Kedusha, and the God will accept you wholeheartedly, as it says in Gemara Masechet Menachot. This is on this world, because this world was created with the letter Hey. Aval Olam Elyon, but the upper world, sheyesh bo kedusha biyoter, is much more kedusha up there, because that was a less narrowing of the light. So it's more kedusha, en bo teshuvah. In the upper world, there is no such thing as teshuvah. Ki hakadosh baruch hu medakdek im hatzadikim v'im hamalachim kechut hashara. That because God is so meticulous with the tzaddikim and the angels that they have to do exactly what they're told. There's no deviation from the plan. And therefore, they're even punished for doing something that was not their fault. If they deviated, they get punished. This is his general rule. Wherever you have something where there's more kedusha, sham hu adikduk beyoter. That's where God focuses on you more. That's where He's more meticulous. That's where He cares more. And He doesn't allow you. There's no room for teshuvah. And when there's a place where there's not as much kedusha, because God had to channel that energy, that light more, then there's more of God's mercy. There's an allowance of God's mercy to accept teshuvah, therefore, olam haba, next world, the upper world, olam ha'elyon, en bo bechinat teshuvah. No, you have no more opportunities to do teshuvah in the next world after 120 years. That's it. It's only in this world you can do it. En bechinat teshuvah legabe malachim, ki hu bechinat din yoter. Because up there, it's din. Up there, it's strict judgment. Again, you can't deviate from the plan. Ve'olam hazeh gashmi, but this world, yes bo yoter rachamim, we have more mercy. Lachen yes bo bechinat teshuvah. That's why we have the option, the realm of teshuvah. So this is how he answers the question. When Rashi says that God's original plan was to create the world b'midat adin, with strict judgment, Perush, he says, the first thing He created was olam ha'elyon, because it was less channeling of the energy, less channeling of the light, and that was the first thing He created, b'midat adin. And there's so much kedusha up there in olam ha'elyon, the upper worlds. You have all the angels over there and all the great tzaddikim. B'sham yesh din beyoter. There's more judgment as a result. Ve'achar kach, and afterwards, when He wanted to create this world, she'ha'or hu betzimtzum yoter, where the light is channeled more, ve'hester gadol, and there's more things hidden, lo yitkayem belo bechinat rachamim. This world, it's impossible. It cannot survive without some sort of infusion of mercy. It has to be, because people make mistakes, so there has to be mercy. There has to be that opportunity for teshuvah. Lachen hikdim bechinat midat rachamim, haynu bechinat teshuvah. And that's why He allowed His mercy to come and infiltrate the world through the teshuvah that we're allowed to do. Look at how He hints it in the pasuk. V'zeh merumaz b'pasuk et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. This is hinted in the pasuk, in the opening pasuk, et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. Haynu hashamayim. Hashamayim meramez la'olam ha'elyon. Hashamayim is the upper world, which is strict din, like we said. Haaretz meramez la'olam ha'tachton. The earth is this lower world. V'nitvasef ot vav. But the letter vav is added. Ve'et haaretz. It doesn't say Bereshit bara Elokim et hashamayim et haaretz. It's ve'et haaretz. What is the vav? Leramez libchinat rachamim shenivra bo ha'olam hazeh. That vav actually hints to the fact that we have God's midot of mercy into this world. How is that so? B'bchinat od vav shu b'chinat shana, because the letter vav represents the realm of the year, a year. Sheyesh b'shana lif'amim yud bet chodesh, because in a year sometimes there are 12 months. Kemispar vav b'miluo, like if you spell out the letter vav, it's vav vav, okay, which is 6 and 6, which is 12. Velifamim yesh bo yud gimel chodashim, and sometimes there are 13. This coming year, Tafshin Pei Bet is going to be a leap year, so there's going to be 2 Adars. So sometimes there are 13 months. Kemispar od vav b'miluo ba'alef. Sometimes you could spell vav aleph vav. So it's 13. Okay, so it's 13 months. Neged yud gimel midot rachamim. We just finished Yom Kippur. In fact, tonight Hosha'ana Raba. It's a big day. It's like Yom Kippur. El Rachum Mechanun Erech Hapayim Navchesed. Right, the 13 Yud Gimel Rachamim. Right, so we have the 13 Yud Gimel, the Vav. You spell out the Vav, Vav Aleph Vav. You have the 13 Yud Gimel Rachamim. So this world, that Vav Ve'et Haaretz, this world is infused with those 13 midot of God. What about the 12? He says Velifamim Hem Yud Bet Midot Rachamim. A lot of people don't know this. Sometimes there's actually only 12 midot. And he explains here at the bottom in the Perush that the first one, El Rachum, the first one, El, really encompasses all the other 12. It's like the intro, and then you have Rachum Mechanun down. So sometimes you're looking at 13, sometimes you're looking at 12. When we read it in our Machzorim, we read 13. but that's but nevertheless you have 12 or 13. Kayadua ki bishnat ha'ibur, in a leap year, when you have 13 months, yesh bo yoter rachamim, you have more mercy. Bechinat ot aleph shebetoch havav umamshich or meolam ha'elyon bechinat kedusha elionam, and that light from above is coming down and stretching down into this world. Now he makes it more applicable for us. Right now he gave you the introduction, the basis, and now he gives you some actual examples. He's going to connect it to actually Zot Haberacha and Bereshit. He says, "V'chen bifratut gam ba'olam hazeh atzmo yesh bo madregot gavoa me'al gavoa." He says, you look at the world, the way it exists, Earth, there are different levels. There are different levels of holiness. Kegon bibchinat yamin. Look at the days of the week, for example. Yesh bechinat Shabbat. You have the realm of Shabbat. Shehu yom mekudash mish'ar yamin. It is a day that is holier than all the other days. We know that. All the days of the week, Shabbat is the holiest. Lachen, what was the rule that we said? The more holy, the more din. Remember that? The more holier you are, the less room for deviation. Lachen yesh bo yoter bechinat din. That's why on Shabbat is much more strict judgment. Medaktekin bo yoter hakol dvarim hanasim b'chol adinin. How many laws are there on Shabbat? Thousands of laws on Shabbat. Can't do this, can't do this. Oh, allowed to do that. This is mukseh, that's not mukseh. You're wearing that. Eruv, and all these crazy laws of Shabbat. Why? Because it's so holy, that's why we're medakdek. That's why there's so much din on it. And from that light of Shabbat, it spreads out to the rest of the week. Just like the Olam Ha'elyon spreads down here, so too Shabbat spreads to the rest of the week. Merumaz b'milat Bereshit. And that's hinted in the word Bereshit, which have the same letters as Yereh Shabbat. You rearrange the letters of Bereshit. Yereh Shabbat, it means fear Shabbat. The creation of the world was similar to like Shabbat, how that transmits the Kedusha to the other days of the week. Gam milat Shabbat, even the word Shabbat itself, is the same gematria of Shamayim va'aretz Yud Kei. Heaven, earth, and Yud Hey, which are the letters that we said he created the heaven and the earth. That's Shabbat. Unbelievable. L'ramez shebechinat Shamayim bechinat Yud, that the realm of heaven, which is Yud, Meir, lightens b'bechinat Eretz, shehu b'bechinat Hey. It lightens this world, which is Hey. The Ken Shabbat Meir lebechinat Chol. And so too Shabbat lightens the rest of the week. Not only is the days of the week that concept, v'chen b'bchinat mekomot bazeh ha'olam. Look at the actual cities on earth, the places on earth. Yes, gam ken gavoa me'al gavoa. You also have madregot. You also have levels. Hainu b'chinat chutz la'aretz. Here in Canada, this is called chutz la'aretz. This is at the lowest level. Okay, actually, anywhere outside of Israel is considered a low level. All right. Mekabeh b'chinat kedusha mi b'chinat Eretz Yisrael. Any kedusha that we have is transmitted to us from Eretz Yisrael. V'gavoa mizeh, and above that, b'chinat Yerushalayim, is Yerushalayim. U'b'chinat Mikdash, and then higher than that is the Bet HaMikdash, ad b'chinat Kodesh HaKodashim. And again he repeats, V'kol sheyesh bo yoter b'chinat kedusha, yesh bo yoter b'chinat din. The more holy it is, the more din there is. That's why Kodesh HaKodashim, if the Kohen even thought one wrong thought, he's dead. Come on, Miskan, give him a break. Give him one chance. No, there's no chance in the Kodesh HaKodashim. You mess up, you deviate, you're dead. It's over. But we can do that here in Canada. God's not going to treat us the same way because there's less Kedusha. Same concept. Mamshich or Kedusha l'tatom mimena. Now look at a beautiful way connection of this week's parasha, Zot Haberacha, into Bereshit. Ve'ine Moshe Rabbeinu alav hashalom. Moshe Rabbeinu hit'ava me'od likanes b'chinat Eretz Yisrael. He desired so much to enter that realm of Eretz Yisrael. That's what he wanted. He didn't forget about just physically entering the land. He wanted the Kedusha of Eretz Yisrael. B'chinat HaKedusha ad b'chinat Kodesh Kodashim. And then from there he wanted to reach to the level of the Kodesh Kodashim. Kedei lamshich or u'kedusha me'otan ha'bechinot al Yisrael, in order to transmit all of that incredible holiness and light to the Jewish people. V'zehu, and this why the pasuk says, end of Parashat Zot Haberacha, Vaya'al Moshe me'arvot Moav el har nevo rosh ha'pisga. Moshe Rabbeinu went up from Arvot Moav, the plains of Moav, to Har Nevo Rosh HaPisga, the top of the mountain. Ad Vayamot Sham, and that's where Moshe died. Perush she'ala Moshe lerosh hapiska. Moshe went up to the top of the mountain. Hainu libchinot hagevorot. He reached the highest level there. Lehamshich bechinat yira uktusha elyona l'Yisrael. And from that level, he was able to transmit himself on the whole land of Israel. In fact, Rashi actually says, if you read the Rashi in Parashat Zot Haberacha, that God showed him not just the land, he saw the whole history of the Jewish people from now until Mashiach. From that moment until Mashiach, he saw everything. Why did he have to show him that? He showed him that based on what he's saying here, so that he could transmit that incredible, immense Kedusha that he had to all the Jewish people. And that's how he clung to the Kedusha of Israel. The same Israel that God showed him until he died through the Neshika. This is what Rashi says, that his eyes didn't dim even when he died. Meaning, he was able, the vision itself is what allowed him to, it was like, think of it like superheroes, allowed to literally send off all the Kedusha through the end of time. Perush ki lo met rak nitabek b'kedusha elyona b'bchinat neshika. Meaning that he didn't actually die, he just clung himself to the highest level of Kedusha through neshika, through God's kiss. V'imshich bechinat Kedusha b'chinat yira elyona kol Yisrael. And that's how he transmitted the realm of Kedusha and fear, the highest level of fear, to the Jewish people. Bezeu, this is the meaning. Vayamot sham Moshe. Moshe died there, Eved Hashem, a servant of God, be'eretz Moab al pi Hashem, in the land of Moab. Leramez shehimshich bechinat yirah, that Moshe transmitted the fear. What's the gematria of fear? Yirah al pi Hashem. The word yirah is the same gematria as al pi Hashem, al pi yud kei vav kei. Shehimshich bechinat yirah min bechinat Eretz Yisrael ayedei istakluto bo al bechinat Yisrael. Just by merely looking at the land, he was able to do so. Af al pi shayu be'eretz Moab. Even though he was in Eretz Moab, in Chutz la'aretz, he was able to do so. And that's how the Torah ends. Vezeu, this is the meaning of the last pasuk. Ulchol hamorah hagadol asher asa Moshe le'nei kol Yisrael. And all the great fear or awe asher asa Moshe, that Moshe did le'nei kol Yisrael, in the eyes of all Israel. Bereshit bara Elokim. Perush. Shimshich bechinat morah gadol bechinat yirah ila'a me'olamot elyonim kol Yisrael. Again, this idea of transmitting the highest level of yirah, which is literally godly, to all the Jewish people. Libchinat lev shelahem, to mamash infusing the hearts of Bnei Israel. Lev, obviously, the last letter of the Torah is Lamed, and the first letter of the Torah is Bet. That's Lev. Zot Hashem, this coming Thursday, I'm going to give a shiur on that, about the whole Lev Tov. It's a very interesting idea. But that's what he did. He infused into the heart the Yir'ah. And then now the Jews now have a pure lev. And he managed to get them into the realm of Bereshit, which is Yereh Shabbat. Again, Yereh Shabbat, the fear of Shabbat. Which is the combination or the connection between the upper world and the lower world. The connection between and the transmission between Shamayim, which is Ot Yud, and the Eretz, which is Ot Hey, like we mentioned. Bechinat Bereshit, Bechinat Shir Ta'ev. Shir Ta'ev is another way of rearranging the letters of Bereshit, which is the love song. The love song is in reference to Shir HaShirim, by the way. Shir HaShirim is called Kodesh HaKodashim. All songs of all the Shirim and Tehillim, Megillat Esther are called Kodesh, but Shir HaShirim, the Gemara says, is Kodesh HaKodashim. And that's what the Leshem Yichud we say, before Shir HaShirim we say Kodesh HaKodashim Chavatzei HaSharon. It's a very, very holy song. Shir Ta'ev, Bechinat Shir HaShirim Asher Shlomo, Shir Mekudash Mishar HaShirim. And in fact, there's an interesting gematria here. Bereshit is also the gematria of Asher Shlomo with the letter 7. Why 7? Shabbat. Again, this concept of the holiness of Shabbat. So we see over here how, and he just concludes with a few more things, but this idea of, again, answering that original question that he had, is that HaKadosh Baruch Hu had the machshava of din, and then changed mind? It wasn't that. It was all the channeling of the energy. At first, it wasn't so filtered, it wasn't so narrowed, so he created the upper world by midat hadin. But over there, it's pure kedusha, and there's no way to make a mistake. You make a mistake, you're finished, you're done. And then he created this world. This world midat rahamim. This world is a midah with God's mercy, and sometimes we make mistakes, but we have the opportunity to do teshuvah. Our job is to constantly draw the kedusha from above. Moshe Rabbeinu gave us that ability, as we just said. He stood up on the mountain, he looked into the future, he looked into the end of times, and he was able to transmit all of that really, really high level of kedusha. And our job is to constantly transmit that and bringing it into our lives to make that connection between Shamayim, Va'aretz, the Yud and the Hey, and through that we are able to accept HaKadosh Baruch Hu's ultimate beracha. Hazaku Baruch to you.